Hello all. We just have to go up a little bit further and then I'll start the video. I bet you just can't wait, huh? Have to very carefully make sure there's no poison oak. I don't do good with poison oak. We made it. Studio 7, which is now quite grown in. Nobody rents it anymore because of the mosquitoes are so thick here. I thought we'd try it though. I'll try and put you under some area that isn't dripping from the intense fog we're having this July here in San Francisco, US. So, here in the US, the first half of 2017 saw its hottest year ever in Arizona, Nevada, and California. This is the second hottest year ever in the continental US, just behind the 2012 heat wave. The heat waves keep getting bigger and longer. Tomorrow, we're here in California are starting another set of 4 days of heat waves, which will then spread down south probably. Unless the monsoons show up, which hopefully will and keep things a little more livable. So one thing we haven't looked at here in the US for a while was the drought map. Let's go over and look at the map here. As you can see, now California has no drought virtually at all. And now Montana and the central states here in the US are now becoming drought prone and has a problem with drought. Here's the change map. The yellow is getting worse, the green is getting better. I do not have the change map for Alaska and Hawaii or any other parts of the US, Iraq, Afghanistan, Puerto Rico, Cuba. Well, who have I left out? But what's really amazing is what's happening to our atmosphere, how it is so quickly changing. For instance, because of the wildfires here on the west coast of the US, we're seeing an amazing rise in CO2. So a small spot in Nevada rose 409 parts per million to 742 parts per million, which then drifted over many parts of the US. That just sort of petered out into the atmosphere, raising the overall CO2 levels. There are still those that are saying that CO2 has leveled off here on planet Earth, which is absolute BS. Our numbers are just piling up higher and higher. Human population is expanding exponentially now, and every one of those people are going to want a car, a refrigerator, and so on and so forth. And to make that, it takes energy, and most of our energy comes from fossil fuels. 99% of it. We're about 1% now on renewables, but it isn't quite 1% yet. And a little bit of bad news, unfortunately, the U.S. has okayed Arctic drilling in the federal areas of Alaska. So the oil industry is definitely encroaching on the pristine Arctic, and the way they worded it is that you can drill there as long as you make a human-made island. But anyway, so that's the agreement, that they can get leases on these lands that they make out in the ocean, just like China's doing. Unbelievable. And they can drill there if they're on land. And they can make their own artificial island, but they can't use those floating rigs yet. It's coming though. And last but not least, I could just keep going on and on, is of course the gigantic iceberg that has broken off the Larsen C glacier ice shelf. This iceberg will be 2,200 square miles and is the biggest iceberg ever recorded. And now the Larsen C shelf will become unstable and probably disintegrate in the next few years. If you were to take all this ice and put it over the continental United States, it would have a thickness of 4.6 inches over the entire U.S. I know this isn't possible, but what a shame to waste all this fresh water. It's too bad we couldn't just tow it over to places in Africa and the Middle East that really need fresh water. They could turn this all into fresh water, and what a waste. Too bad we couldn't use it. So, I honestly think that the world is on the brink of a revolution. We sort of have two paths. Stay on the path we're on and absolutely destroy ourselves, or try the other path. Can't see where it goes too well, but you know where that one goes. You know, that's the easy one, isn't it? Sometimes you gotta take the harder one. There couldn't be a better time for a revolution to start. Every day the news is just as bad as it can get, and it's not getting any better. As far as the environment goes, why are we waiting? Why aren't we doing something? We can't, nothing's going to change unless we do something. So I definitely do appreciate all you guys' comments. They've been excellent, as usual. Good conversations, and I appreciate everybody that puts on comments here, regardless of what their backing is or what side they're on. As you know, Pink Barrio is, we don't believe in left-right. We just believe in intelligence and going with intelligence. So with your intelligent comments and your ups and your downs, until next time.
Ash?